Hello, hello everyone. I am Steve and welcome to another Mac84 live stream. How's everybody doing this Saturday night? I know it's a bit late, but it's Saturday, so at least for myself, I don't have to worry about the exact time I wake up tomorrow, so we could stay up a little late today. How is everybody doing tonight? Hope the week has been treating you well. It's been a bit busy for me, so apologies for not doing as many streams or anything. I'm working on a number of projects, both old and new. I'm just trying to get done. So, yeah. Don't worry, Mike. I'll try. So, a bunch of things I want to cover before we get into one of the machines that we're going to try and look at today. I just want to give a huge shout out to Mike of Mike's Mac Shack. Wow. Mike of Mike's Mac Shack. Thank you very, very much, Mike. The reason for that is he is helping me go grab a lovely item, which you'll see maybe next weekend or so, something like that. Mike and I are trying to align the stars, so we will be meeting once again, so that might be exciting. So hopefully you guys are already subscribed to Mike's channel. That's Mike's Mac Shack. If you have not done so already, please consider doing so. Just click on his little name there, or just do a YouTube search for Mike's Mac Shack, or Mike's Mac Shack, or Mike's Mac Shack, or Max Mike Shack. Whatever you want to search for, whatever you want to subscribe to is fine, as long as you subscribe to Mike's Mac Shack. And that's all you got to do. So please do that. Greatly appreciate him helping me out. He's always a good friend in helping me out. And it's a freaking large item. Where are his kids going to say? I don't know. This item is more important than that, obviously. But yeah, I was also on Dana's channel. Dana Does Stuff. We were doing a bit of an impromptu thing. And by we, I mean Dana. I just hopped in at the end and went, and that's all I did. So if you have not subscribed to Dana's channel, I don't think he's actually here in the chat yet. How dare he? Make sure that he joins in. I'm going to say hello to everybody who's joined here. We have Retro Techie. We have Bruce, who was second. Always a good thing to come in second. We have Adam, Violet, Retro Techie. Wait, I already said Retro Techie. See, I'm terrible at reading things. It's like a teleprompter. I'll just read it. Thomas is here. We have Action Retro. Sean is here. Yes, those glorious pinstripes. Who else joined? Thomas Armstrong is here. Just a bunch of names repeating. Mike is here, of course. Douglas is here. Frederick is here. Joshua is here. We have Standard Deviation is here. We have Jay, of course. And Nicholas is here. Who else is here? We have Andre is here. Joe is here. Hello, Joe. And I thought there was another Joe. Joe's Computer Museum is here. Hello, Joe. And Duke is here. Shady Robot is here. Sad Mac is here. Of course, Sad Mac is here. Tacker is here, and yeah, so alright, so we got, my goodness, with 20-something people just coming along. Joshua's first time watching the stream. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you consider subscribing if you have not done so already, but I greatly appreciate it. So, a few things I want to mention. One is a very kind donation by my good friend Justin Morgan. I have been helping Justin repair some things, and I've been very slow, so my apologies, Justin. But, and I'm sorry for the noise, but it's going to be apparent of why there's a noise in a second. So, my microscope has a light that points down and illuminates the objects that I look at. And unfortunately, the particular model of the microscope I got did not ship with the right piece of adapter. It shipped with a plastic one. So this light, which hopefully will be in frame in a moment, this light, which usually shines down, was not really attaching correctly to the microscope. Mike, you do not have to do that, sir. Thank you very much for your generosity. Eep! I should be paying you, and I will be paying you. Taking pre-orders for the iHammer Pro and iHammer Mini. Inquire within. Yes, go to Mike's Mac Shack, and you'll see all the professional products that he sells with that good iHammer brand name. It's just, you can't get anything else from that. Thank you very much, Mike. Eep! That's the first eep of the evening. Thank you very much. So what Justin did was he sent me a little adapter from Amscope, the manufacturers of my microscope, that should be able to hold this light. Now, the only thing that's missing is, and it's my fault, I took out the little screws that were supposed to go in each area of this light to hold it up, and it's tied to a socket, so I can't pull it too hard. But there are these little holes here, and I just had to find where I put those little screws to attach to this bracket. But this bracket, or this piece of metal, whatever it is, it's metal, not plastic like the other one, which they really should have included. This screws into the Barlow lens that I have, this 07X lens, and it should allow this light to screw in there securely. So I just have to get the right thingies to secure that, but that would be excellent. Now I just have to carefully screw this back in. Maybe this might take a while, folks. But yeah, I greatly appreciate that, Justin. That was completely out of the blue. He said, "Hey, by the way, I'm sending you something." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm confused. I don't deserve it, but thank you very much, and it's greatly appreciated. And I can't seem to get this back on now. Oh, this is very exciting already. I just want to put this back on because I don't want to lose it, because that would be terrible. In fact, we're not using the microscope right now, so I could tilt the whole thing to the right, and this will make it a little bit easier. Hope everyone's evening is going well. Oops. I want to talk about another thing that I was watching, which I'm sure all of you watched too. And that was Sean from Action Retro did a video. There we go. Did a video about his Quadrant 950. Now, what a beast of a machine that is. Just about the same size as a Mac Pro or a G5 Tower. Fantastic machine. I wish I have one, I don't, but he's going through quite the effort to set up that machine and really max out. If you haven't seen his video, go check that out. Go to Action Retro on YouTube. Check out the video he did with the Quadrant 950. You're going to be seeing more of that, and I'm very, very, very excited because I'm going to see that in person, and hopefully a few of you guys can too. So at VCF East, that's taking place early October this year, at VCF East here in New Jersey, there is going to be an exhibit, and I am help manning the table. I don't know what I'm going to do exactly yet, but I'm going to be standing there and looking pretty to try and help Sean with his mud setup, and that's a multi-user dungeon setup, and he's going to be doing that with the help of some of his vintage machines. So very much looking forward to that, because I think that's going to be really cool. I've never played something like that before. I'm very excited to be able to experience that, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Sean got the idea from me. Alright, this is Bruce. I was planning to do a video on maxing out my Quadrant 950, and he sneakily read my mind and stole his idea. Well, see, that's what happens, you know. All those cursed powers have just like altered Sean's brain, and he could just go, yes, I will take that NuBus card from you. Okay, that's a PowerPC upgrade card. And then he builds a video of it, and he does it on a weekly schedule, which nobody can match. And we are insanely jealous of him and proud at the same time. I had interest in a TRS 80, but I don't have. I have the discs for one, but that's all I have. I don't have a model. I don't have the space for one. But yeah, so that's going to be really cool. Sean posted the link in the video description in the chat here. So click on the link that's vcfed.org, and then you click on the festival. It's VCF East, and that is really cool. I don't think I've ever. I didn't really get into that stuff until like Guild Wars and stuff like that in later in my youth. So I didn't really get to play in that stuff from a tech-based perspective. So I'm really excited about it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm probably going to die, but yeah. Other thing I want to say is Bruce and I were doing a fun little competition, and I built my blue SCSI adapter as he did. Sad Mac and a few others were there on one of Bruce's more selective streams that he did. And yeah, Bruce beat the pants off of me. But I assembled my other blue SCSI adapter, which is a great little SCSI emulator. They're about $25, $30 here in the US at least. Excellent little device. I will be using this shortly. I'm just happy to have another one assembled because it always helps to have more of those devices. It was hilarious. I don't know if we can edit that down into a friendly format, but we are trying. Okay, so other things I want to show you before I dive off on showing you things in person. A very good friend of mine, Frank, has shipped me a bunch of goodies, and I'll be using some of those in my videos, and I'm going to show you some that are in the boxes there. We'll go through that in a bit. But he is selling some good items, and I'm not buying everything. I mean, although you might think that. But anyway, I want to show off some of the items that he is selling, and I will share the links in the video chat here, because what I want to do is try and promote his items to sell. He's in Canada. Shipping would be involved, of course, but he has some pretty darn good prices on some items. So I just want to share those. I promised I would give him a little boost, and I'll probably tweet them out later. But let's see if we can get a little bit of a window capture here, and we'll see if we can get anything good going. And we're going to click on this. We're going to click OK. We're going to make sure nothing weird is showing. And yeah, so it's my good friend Will, and here is the first item. So this is a Bluetooth keyboard, you know, one of your standard Apple Bluetooth keyboards. Has the box and everything. It's in good shape. He wanted $30 for that. One of the more exciting ones here is this. This is a Key Lime iBook, and I don't know why the images are frozen. Oh, Facebook, you silly gobbledygook. We're going to refresh you. Maybe? Maybe? No? No, you don't want to? Anyway, this is a Key Lime iBook. He's asking, I think it's Canadian, $200 or whatever it is. It's a 366 model. It is missing the bezel for the CD-ROM, which a lot of them are. Oh, come on, just load the page, you darn thing. This is a bad idea because none of them are loading. Let's move on to this one. Refresh. I don't know why the browser is being such a jerk today. Here we go. All right, so here's the Key Lime. It's purty. It's a Key Lime. Excellent, excellent product. I love these. If I didn't have one, I would have picked it up. But it's missing the bezel there, but it is functional. I think there's a picture of it on. Yeah, there we go. Running Tiger. Classic OS. Classic OS. Then we have one of these. This is a one laptop per child device. These are very interesting little computers. I have one of these, but it's sort of stuck in like a recovery mode, and I can't really get it to work. So just wait, you silly thing. So there's that. I can't. This is like just freezing on my system. Way to go, Facebook. And so, you know, that's a thing there. The one I really wanted to show here is, of course, the Lime iBook. Oh, he sold the eMate already. Okay, excellent. Well, that was a good price for an eMate. He had an eMate for sale. No longer for sale. Go away. And then this is a very, very fine condition PowerBook 180. And if the page wants to refresh here... Oh, come on. Come on. Just go to the next photo, please. Yeah, this is not happening. Yeah, Facebook is Facebook. But anyway, there's a PowerBook 180 that he also has for sale. Whatever. But I will be spamming the links in the chat in a little bit, or you know, I'll post them on Twitter, and you could probably search Facebook Marketplace as well if you want. But I'm gonna try and refresh that one more time because that first photo doesn't really show what the product is. Come on, there we go. Lovely PowerBook 180. Boots up, all happy, etc. So I just wanted to mention those things. Just want to give my friend a little shout out there and help him find homes for his wonderful items. The same Doug who after this. Oh, hey, Doug. I appreciate it. Nice to see you drop by. Yeah, the one laptop per child I have, the screen comes on and everything. It just, I think it won't. And the last time I played with it was probably 2009, 2010. It's been a while. It's sitting in a drawer somewhere. It turns on and everything, but essentially it's basically thank you, Bruce. It's basically one of those things where I was trying to get it to boot off of a Linux thing to like erase it or whatever, and it just wouldn't find the SD card or the USB drive that I was doing at the time. So anyway, Adam needs to get rid of an iBook. Well, we could all use an iBook. Okay, so moving on, I wanted to show some cool things that I picked up over, gosh, the last few months. It's been one of those things where I've just been slowly bringing down boxes. But I do appreciate your help, Douglas. If I have to resort to additional help, I will be gladly doing that. And that'll be awesome. So let's... okay, so let's look at this here. I'm going to bring some boxes over here. We're going to balance them and see if everything falls down, because hopefully it won't. Okay. Wall Street with 2 internal Zip 100 drives hooked to my local Craigslist. I'm still working on convincing myself that I don't need it. You do need it! Because if one of those zip drive doesn't work, at least you have the second one. Alright, so this is a box of goodies that my friend Frank, who I was showing you the other items from, he sent me a bunch of old documentation and things like that, and I just wanted to show you because I think these are really cool. Some of these I had already, like an eMac user's guide. Very, very cool. But some of these I did not, and I'm going to make some room here so I could put some of the things on the side. We have a user's guide and a setup guide for one of the original iMacs. We're going to see which exact ones they are. Yeah, you cannot have enough documentation. Okay, so these are the slot loads. So look at that. I always loved this. I thought that was really cool. All the different colors there, including the graphite. That's just how to set it up. It's basically saying, you know, plug the power in, plug the USB in, turn it on. Very cool. We have the user guide for it. Tells you how to use Mac OS 9, Apple Works, all that stuff. Accidentally erased my hard drive. Oh no! I hope you backed it up, buddy. We have your standard software license agreement stuff, but these are cool. Welcome to Mac OS 10. Let's see what version this is. 2001 is the date on the back. Talks about setting up 9.1. Oh my goodness. Who remembers that old iTunes icon? Right in the bottom next to Internet Explorer. Look at that. And then we have Mac OS 10 up to date. So this is an update. The instant updates. I think this is 10.1. Let's see what the disk inside says. These are in very good shape. Oh, this is actually 10.03. Okay. I don't know if that's the disk that originally came in here, but maybe this was like an update you mail away for. We have a proof of purchase that has been pulled out. We have a Welcome to Mac OS 10 guide here. Let's slide that back in there. But the disk here is version 10.0.3. That's the disk hiding in this little folder here. And then this is really cool. Mac OS 10 public beta. I believe this was $20 or $30. You could at the time request that you get this from Apple, and it was an invitation to be a beta tester for the public beta of Mac OS 10. And you could see there's a little letter inside welcoming you to the future of the Macintosh, and then you have your disk here, and that is of course a public beta disk. Let's see what you get in here as far as documentation goes. You have a Welcome to Mac OS 10 public beta booklet. How about that? Very cool. There's support options for public beta. There's some phone numbers and stuff. If you really needed help, you could resort to that. I think I had one of these sealed, but I don't know where it is. So it's really nice to have one that's open. Welcome to Mac OS 10, the next generation of Macintosh operating system. Yeah, and tells you what system preferences are, how do you navigate your windows and everything. And this manual is nice and friendly. Full color. Honestly, for the price of the beta here, you're probably just paying for the documentation and the printing of the disc. United States phone number is just AppleCare, Sean, so I'm sure that number still rings. The next one is really cool because I can never have enough of these. So this is a 10.1 update. This is also an instant up-to-date type thing. Very similar to the other one, but this is 10.1. And I believe this was a free upgrade if you purchased 10.0 because 10.0 was just so bleh. So this is version 10.1.0. There's the beautiful disc for it. Always loved that. I always loved that. I thought that was beautiful. And we get a slightly different gatefold cover rather. Sort of like opening an old record up or something like that. And not only does this have Mac OS 10, but like the early versions of Mac OS 10, it shipped the version of Mac OS 9. Now this says it's an update CD, but I know at the time a lot of these update CDs were simply the regular CDs. So there you go. What version allowed auto-mounting USB drives? I mean, even 9 auto-mounted USB drives. So I'm not remembering. I mean, not to say that 10 didn't have shortcomings, because it did. I forget which version of 10. Probably 10.1 or something like that. There were some weird things. Here's a booklet for Adobe Creative Suite 2, and we have an Adobe Creative Suite 2 Premium set. I think this is an upgrade. It's not the full install, but it's always cool to have these discs on hand in case I need to install something or whatever. Let me just catch up on the chat here. Sorry, I picked up a lot of Mac hardware software. Small design company. Wish I kept all those boxes and guides. Yeah, that's the thing. It's really hard to find some of this stuff boxed, and there's more in this box. So here is a copy of Panther, which is very, very nice. It's in pretty good condition. We have the opening gatefold here. We have some pen here, but that might be able to be removed. But anyway, it looks pretty nice. It's heavy, so it probably has all the goodies inside. And then we have a few stacks of smaller software packages. We have iLife 08. We have a user guide. This, I believe, is for, this is for an Airport Extreme. So this is the documentation you would have got with the Airport Extreme. There's a CD in there. We have, I think this came with a MacBook or an iMac. A set of Well, yeah. So these are interesting because this is I believe the very. Yeah, these are early versions of Mac OS X for Intel. And so the confusion at the time was this just says for Mac computers. And people were like, well, which computers? Huh? And, you could sort of shoehorn them onto other machines if you'd like. But these are probably for early MacBook Pros, early Intel iMacs, etc. What else do we have here? The CD of Color It. And another version of Color It there. This is image editing software, so that's pretty neat. Then we have another set of install CDs for a Mac. Those are like the ones that were bundled in the system. Now these are cool. Here's a little, I guess it's sort of graphite colored almost. There's a little Apple CD cover thingy. And inside here, it's actually for an iMac. Now I've never seen the iMac Restore discs with a white label. I've always seen the orange ones. So this was intriguing to me, and it's multiple discs here. So we have a startup disc that's 9.04, and then we have, so this is the Restore CD, and then this is the Install CD. So we have two of those. They're different. We have KidPix Deluxe. Excellent. We have Adobe PageMill. Always got to have that, I suppose. We have, this is for a different machine. This is a PowerMac G4 Mac OS X install disc, so that's for a separate machine. We have World Book 1 and 2, so these are like encyclopedia type things. So that's neat. I don't know if these exactly came in that original folder, but I don't care. I always like the folder. The white label discs are Apple Care replacements. I did not know that. Thank you very much, Jay, for the information. That would explain why I haven't seen them, because I always had the original ones. Here we have a set of eMac install discs and Restore discs. There's a lot of them, so I'm assuming these are CDs, because this eMac probably did not have a DVD-ROM drive. It's probably the cheaper model with the CD-ROM. So there we go. So that was all the software that I got from my good friend Frank. I bought some stuff off of him, and he said, hey, do you want this old software? I said, yes, please. You can call them and have the whole set sent to you. Paid, of course. Of course. Why would Apple give you anything for free? Submit your bugs via postcard. I love it. We have almost 50 people watching. Hello, everybody. We're going to go through some of this stuff, and then we're going to bring out one of these machines I want to try and fix. All right, so I won an eBay auction. That was a very hodgepodge of things here. I have no idea what video cards these are in, but but maybe we could start testing them once we get our G4 up and running. But this has an ADC connector and a VGA connector. It's probably one of the low-end ones. I always seem to get the low-end graphics cards. I can never get the basic one, other than the basic ones. It's always like the ones people pulled out of their machines to put a new one in here. And what I hate about these cards is I can't even tell if this is an ATI card or an NVIDIA card. There's little to no way to figure that out. I mean, there's some of these barcode stickers. If you Google them, you come up with like a bunch of different results. So yeah, that's gonna be a thing. We also have the similar issue with this processor card. It has a date of 1995, so that means the PCB was made around 1995. But that doesn't really tell me if this is a 603 or a 604 processor. So again, something we have to figure out. Mike says he believes, or maybe he's yanking my chain, this is a GT7300. So I'm going to put that to the side. I'll explain why I got this bundle in a second. I didn't really need these cards, but this is a Ethernet card, I think. Sorry for the noise. I thought I opened this up already. And that's a 604. Well, that would be nice if it is. There's no indication of the speed of it, but IBM PS1 is worth buying if you speak to Mike and you know exactly what you want. But yeah, that's... Yeah, so this is a, was it a 3-com? Yeah, it's a 3-com PCI Ethernet card. Do not know if this is 10100 or maybe even just 10. Oh, the LED says 10100. Not sure if this is a Mac compatible one or not. It was included with a bunch of Mac things, but you never know. So, yes, I was only bidding on really one item in the lot, and I think that'll be pretty clear when we get to that. Here is another video card. This looks like it also came out of a Mac, I'm guessing. Now this has a chip on it that says R128. So this leads me to believe that this is a Radeon 128 card, and the back of it actually says ATI Technologies 1999. You got a DVI port on there You have a VGA port on there. So this is a Radeon 128 AGP card. Not a bad card to have. Very basic for, you know, your G4s at the time. So this would probably come pre-installed on most of the systems. Maybe it was a bit of a spec bump because it had the DVI. I'm assuming this came with a Mac. Maybe it's a PC one. Who knows? But yeah, the ATI, Rage 128, etc. They made a lot of these over the years, and has a heatsink on it, so that's neat. But yeah, there you go. All right, and 2 more items in the box. And I really didn't open the graphics cards, really, because I was going through other stuff. I'm trying to remember the Radeon that I had in my PC back in the early 2000s. I think it was a Radeon 7200 or something. I don't know what it was, but we have another Radeon 128. So this has the same exact chip, but there's a slightly different number. So this has a chip of 63001. This is 72701. So maybe a production date or whatever, but this has an ADC connector on it. How about that? So this is a Rage 128 with an ADC connector, so I could drive an ADC display or one of those ADC CRTs that I have. So yeah, this is has a copyright date of 2000, so that's at least when the PCB was made. And on the back, this says graphics by Rage 128 Pro. So this is a Rage 128 Pro card. I assume that's what the P stands for, and this has a P on it as well, so that's probably a 128 Pro as well. But these aren't bad cards. I do have a handful of them. I don't think I had as many with the ADC connector on it, so that's always nice. Yeah, so these will go towards one of my G4s, I'm sure, as I'm playing around with them. So always good to have those. All right, now let me explain what it was that I was actually getting from a lot of this stuff. Oh, Michael, welcome to the stream. Not that type of pee. Otherwise, I'd be wearing gloves. I'm going to assume most of the vintage guys in the chat will be able to see exactly what this is the moment I open it up. So, just getting the packaging tape that is surrounding this that I can't seem to get off, actually. Come on. There we go. So this is one of those things where I didn't think I was going to win this auction. I really did not. I didn't make a high bid on it. So I ended up buying a different one, and this is the one I really wanted, and I ended up getting it. So who could guess what this is? It's not a CPU upgrade card. I wish. I really do. You can probably tell the interface of it right away, but for the particular machines that it fits with, that's what you were bidding on. Really, I put a bid in early. I was really waiting for somebody to outbid me. I put a bid in early. I really thought that somebody was going to outbid me on it, but I guess they did not. There are a few of them out there that have gone much cheaper than this. I will tell you that. So if you lost on that auction, don't give up hope. But yeah, this is an Ethernet card for a SE30, or it could also be plugged in, I suppose, if you wanted to your 2SI. And yes, the FPU is not required. I don't know why. There's actually another card I'm going to show you that has a little socket on there, which I don't know why they had it in there. But I guess if it's for the 2SI, that's why you want the FPU in there. But this is a Santi. I believe this is a MacCon for the SE30 and 2SI. And so you do have the old AUI. This is not the AAUI. It's not the Apple variant of it. But this is the more standard PC-style AUI port, where you could actually plug a transceiver into this. So a tip for anybody out there who has one of those transceivers, they have dipped a bit, risen a bit in price. But if you have one of those transceivers and you find one of these that has the BNC connector, you could likely use one of those transceivers and just plug into RJ45 Ethernet. You don't need to find this exact one with that. So just a heads up on that. That card worth a lot of money. I have that card. I don't think it's worth a lot of money. I would say if I were to purchase this card separately, I don't know, like $50. I paid $50 for the other one with the BNC connector, with shipping, mind you. I think the best offer was $35, $40 or something like that. And Adam, yes, you could have the NuBus adapter with the Ethernet card in it, which gives you the FPU, which is always great. Yes, Apple had their own AAUI, and actually it's a very different connector than the AUI here. And I believe the reasoning was, at least this is my headcanon. This is a DB15 style port, and Apple used that in their monitors, and they didn't want to confuse their users, so they probably just changed it. So there you go. So this is really what I was bidding on. I am happy to get it, although, like I said, I bid on... it was one of these things where I made a bid on this, and then I made a best offer on the one with the BNC connector, and I won the one with the BNC connector, and I'm like, well, someone's going to outbid me on this, so I don't really have to worry about it, and nobody did. So, well, but that is one of the things I want to show you guys, because I'm excited to build a Macintosh SE30 build that I've been talking about a little bit. I have all, well, most of the parts. I'm waiting for a replacement part. I bought something, it was broken. So there you go. There's just a handful of more things I want to show you guys before we start to look at the G4. And if I could grab this box over, it's a bit of a big one. Mike, you'll like this. Oh boy. Yeah, because actually, Adam, the ones I thought I had Ethernet cards for the SE30, so I wasn't really looking to buy one. And then I found the box, and it was for the regular SE, so I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. So. Okay, so we'll do this one first, because these are right here. These I also got from my friend Frank. He was selling these. These are radius cards for the Macintosh SE, SE30, 2SI, various models. I'm not saying this one works with that, but you'll see what these are. So this plugs in. I believe this one is for, I'm going to get it wrong now, I know it, 89. So I think this is, yeah, this says the SE30 on it. So this is a pivot display card for the SE30. So the idea is you'd plug this in, and you'd be able to plug in your pivot display through the DB15 connector here. Hey, Eric. Welcome to the chat. And I do have a pivot display. It's a color one. Not entirely sure if the pinout is the same. This is something I have to figure out. Never played with it before. So, very excited to play around with that. That's one of the reasons why I said yes. I'll take the SE30 card, and then I ended up buying a bunch of other stuff for my friend. So, a pivot display... LGR did a video about it. I would suggest you go look at that. He did a video on a later model that just came out a few weeks ago. LGR, Lazy Game Reviews on YouTube. Clint did an excellent video on the pivot display, how it works and everything. He did it with Windows, but they came out with one for Macintosh as well. I think the Mac one came out earlier, but it's a display that basically goes from portrait, well, landscape to portrait and vice versa. Good if you're publishing documents and stuff like that. So... the next card that I got from my good friend Frank was also a pivot card for this. So this is for a 2SI. So we have one there. And again, you have the PDS slot on the bottom. But there's also a pass-through, which I think is really cool. I would love one, Adam. I don't know if you need it, but I don't want to take some. I would not want to take something away from somebody who's going to use it. I'll just say that. But if you do not have a use for it, I am probably looking to try one out, because I have not used the monitor yet, but I'm pretty sure I need either a special cable or a compatible NuBus adapter. So that would be very good to know. Because the only ones I have right now are these PDS ones. So again, here's another one. Some of them are missing the cables, so I'm going to have to do some work here. I don't know if these work. These were part of a project. So this is another 2SI interface pivot card. Might trade these around or whatever. Again, don't know if these work, but I am excited to be able to play around with them. Well, thank you very much, Adam. That is very kind of you. Feel free, you know my email address. I'm sure you could work something out. This is interesting. This is a 2SI NuBus adapter. So this is what Adam was talking about before. Apple made one. Other companies made one. This is one. I believe this is a Radius one. Yeah, this is a Radius one right here. Basically allows you to plug a NuBus card into your Macintosh 2SI, which only has one PDS slot. And it also gives you an FPU to upgrade the system a little bit, put a math coprocessor in there, which is really cool. Now, this is puzzling. Adam, I think you'll get a kick out of this. I'm assuming this was made for multiple things and they just stamped different text on it. But this is a SE30 bus adapter. Okay. But why the heck is there an FPU slot on there? Why is that there? And it clearly says, if I could hold it up right, it clearly says Mac SE30 bus adapter. Yeah. So, yeah, that is a bit of an oddity. I don't know exactly why, they had the card, the FPU slot on there. I'm just going to assume they made multiple things that were identical to this. Maybe for the 2SI or whatever, and they just put the lettering on here. I don't know why you would want to plug one into that or whatever, but thought that was very interesting and a little perplexing. I remember showing that to my friend Bruce a few days ago, and he's like, "But why would you put one on there?" Yes, but the thing is, the SE30 already has an FPU on it, Thomas. So that's why it's a little perplexing. So, and this is something I purchased. So I did a video a few days ago about or a week ago, or whatever, about the Radius Video Vision card for my Macintosh Quadra 800 I was playing around with. And yeah, that was a fun video. Go watch that. But in the comments section, somebody mentioned an Iomega Buzz. And I didn't know what that was. And I grew up with a lot of Iomega stuff, a zip drive, a jazz drive. I didn't know what a Buzz was. So I looked it up. And it's a video capture device that Iomega made. So I found one on eBay. Get it out of here. And this just screams Iomega marketing. I just look at this. Buzz. They always had to name their things different. Jazz only had the one Z. I know why, for trademark purposes and all that stuff. But look at this thing. Look at this thing. Now, this is the Windows version. They did make a Mac version of it. I'll talk a little bit more about these in a second. But yeah, this thing is... and Sean and I have been swapping B puns all day. As I was frustratingly playing around with this earlier. Well, attempting to, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But, booze. Well, you'll need booze after you try and set this up. Badunch. So this is essentially an AV capture card. But what's very interesting about this, and we'll see if we can pan the camera down without it falling off of the tripod completely. But what's very interesting about this is it's not just, a USB device, because, this was whatever the year this came out. Is there any years on this documentation? 97. So this is about 97 or so. We have the B puns just hit you from the start. Don't get stung. Bzz. And I'll probably do a scripted video about this because my goodness, AverMedia is the devil. Any of that PC stuff I touched as in my youth was very, very problematic. Anyway, so how this works is you get a PCI card. And it's a SCSI card. It's actually a SCSI card. But this connector up here connects into what they call BOB. Breakout box. They literally call this BOB in the manual. And it has some audio cables here. And it has this cable that plugs into that card. And you have composite and S-video inputs and outputs. So the whole idea behind this thing is to capture standard definition analog video and get that into your computer. Now this card and this set, hello Bob, hello guys, this was marketed for people who wanted to capture their footage and put it on their computers, etc. Iomega heavily marketed their jazz drives because the raw video that you would get from this would be so large that it would probably benefit you to have a few extra gigabytes on hand. So this was in the box as well. And this is basically saying, unlimited storage, go buy some jazz drives, cross your fingers, hope they work. So, yeah. Now, as I was doing research, because I do want to do a scripted video about this thing, because it's one of those things where there's a lot I want to talk about, and I won't be able to do it in a manner on a live stream that's cohesive and doesn't take 18 hours. Although that would be enjoyable to a degree. Maybe I'll live stream it as I'm producing that video. But I read a... yeah, so the SCSI card, so the reason why they included the SCSI card is probably because, well, if you were going to get AV capture into your computer and it was, the mid-90s, PCI was going to be the way to do it. USB didn't really have the bandwidth for it, kind of did with some devices, but let's just say PCI was the way to do it for broader compatibility. That being said, there's a sticker on the top of the box that lists the machines that are compatible. Anyway, if you plug this into your machine, why not add additional interfaces to it? Why not add SCSI? And if you add SCSI, which most PCs did not have at the time, if you added SCSI, then you could say, well, why don't you buy our jazz drive? Why don't you buy our zip drive? Just plug it into the SCSI port that we just added to your PC with this Buzz Media Kit. So this was sold for Mac and Windows. Now the packages are a little different because the Mac version came with a version of Adobe Premiere LE, I believe, and actually came with the professional version of QuickTime 3. So you got QuickTime 3 Pro. So a Macworld article that I read online says that the Mac version was $100 more than the PC version. However, what I found very interesting is that Macworld article says I could take that SCSI PCI card, plug it into my PC, and I could just buy the additional software or download it from Iomega's website, whatever I want to do, just the drivers or the full software package, and that's it. Which leads me to believe, although I bought this just to play around, in fact, I had this old Windows 98 PC sitting here that's acting as a, I guess, a footstool for some boxes. The original plan was to use this Buzz on a PC and see how terrible it was, because, come on, it's Windows 95 and video capture. What could go right? And so I decided, yeah, I'm going to do that. But after reading this article, I think, hey, maybe I'll be able to take that PCI card, maybe I'll be able to plug it into my Mac with the appropriate software and see if it works. Now, I'm not going to do that today because we don't have the time for it, but I think that would be a very interesting thing to try out. Now, I know SCSI cards were very, very particular. They had specific chips and BIOSes and stuff like that for Macs and PCs. However, some cards that I played around with will give you minimal functionality, not bootable functionality, but minimal functionality with a PC or a Mac. So I don't know if that's the case here. I don't know where Macworld got their information as they were writing that article. Maybe they made an assumption. I'm not sure, but I'm going to figure it out because I can't find any other documentation about it. However, I ran into a bit of an issue, but I do want to thank some good folks, and I'm gonna stall for time as I open my Twitter page to remember who those individuals' names are. But essentially, I was searching online for the software for the Mac, and unfortunately, Iomega.com is no longer there. Some spam site bought it, and they own it now, which is absolutely terrible. However, the lovely people at the Internet Archive, Jason Scott specifically, scanned this CD and archived it. This is Iomega Buzz Installer version 1.2, in parentheses, Iomega 1998. That's on the Internet Archive, and I will give you a break from my face to show you that. Let me do the window capture here. And so they archived the disc, which is excellent. And I'll show you that there. So here's the CD. Let's do that there so it's not as cut off. But yeah, I need more screens. Anyway, why is it cut off? There we go. So this is the CD that they had. Downloaded it and realized that it wasn't mounting correctly. And basically I wrote a little comment of how to resolve that because I'll forget, and I think it was useful for anybody else in the future. Because this is a Mac formatted CD. It's in the BingQ format, so what you have to do is you have to take a program like WinISO, convert that to an ISO. Yes, it was a Windows software, but whatever. And then I had to run resedit on that, change the file folder information to actually be read, and then I was able to mount it. So thank you very much to Jason for scanning that in. And then let me switch out of this. Sorry. Yeah, we're back. And then big thanks goes out to Blake Garner on Twitter. He was able to sort of assist me with trying to figure out how to convert that BingQ to an ISO correctly, because I did try a few other things that just wasn't working. Thank you for Sean for amusing me while I was doing this. And big thanks goes out to Mr. Fahrenheit for assisting me with some of those res edit trickeries. So thank you very much for those individuals. Yeah, I don't know who owns... yeah, EMC bought Iomega, but I'm not sure if where exactly all the pieces of that went. Because I know Dell owns some stuff, but who knows? But anyway, yes, I love his archive stuff. It's like you know, it's great that he's doing that. And you know, he replied to the tweet I said. He said literally, glad they helped you, and I'm very glad they did, because I don't think I would be able to have found that CD, because look at this. This is the one that came with the Windows version. There are actually 2 discs here. I don't think the second one is archived, so I'm going to return the favor and archive this second disc here, which was disc 2. This includes Hot Shot CD, photo page printing tutorials, and other stuff. That's a mouthful. MGI Video Wave SE Plus for Buzz. Retail version of MGI Video Wave, and some other stuff. And the first disc includes the drivers and some other stuff. So this is the Windows copy. I do have a CD of the Mac stuff. So there you go. Dave's here. Oh, we gotta end the stream. Really? I tried IMG Burn, but it would not convert it. At least what I tried. Logo's upside down. Okay, so we went through a bunch of stuff here. So anything else? Yes. This is for Mike. If Mike is still awake. If not, this will be a surprise when he comes over. Well, he's seen it already, but this is heavy. This could kill someone, I swear. We'll get to what this is. Hold on. Oh, boy. I tried burning it, Bill. I did. I burned the CD 3 different times. Was not readable. Had to be converted. I burned it on a PC and a Mac. Alright, so. Move the camera a little bit. So you know when you get one of those things and it's like, oh, this would be really fun to play around with it. And then maybe you have an idea of doing a video or something like that. And then you think, I'd like to compare this to something else. Well, that's sort of what happened here, and why I now am the proud owner of this massive IBM PS2 external 5 1/4 drive. I mean, this thing is huge. This is my head. Look how big this is like. This is a weapon. This is like comically large. I mean, look at this. It's as wide as I am. Joe's like, want, give. So, I have a very similar functional drive, hopefully, for a Macintosh SE. If you ever need it, Joe, you could borrow it. And so essentially, I have a it's as heavy as I am too. Yeah, if you would believe the shipping costs, you think it would be. So essentially, I have the PC 5 1/4 drive that Apple shipped for the Macintosh SE and compatible NuBus systems. And that thing can read PC disks. Now, you can just lift all the IBM stuff all day. And so essentially, I can read PC disks in my Macintosh SE with the special external drive that Apple had. And special thanks to Mingo Hagen on Twitter, and I believe he's elsewhere too, but essentially he's definitely on Instagram, I think. He has a NuBus version of that card, and he offered to send that to me, and I bought that off him. So I'm very excited for when that comes. I'll show you around all this device in a second, but essentially my plan is I want to do a video on that, that PC drive for the Macintosh SE. However, I want to be able to show how it works with the PC. And I only have one working floppy drive for a PC, and it's not in the best shape, and it plugs into an old DOS machine I set up that's basically running out of a Pentium 4 tower case. It's not really the most ideal thing. But I have an IBM PS2 50Z, and I thought, well, I have the controller card for the 50Z, and I have the one that would go for this drive specifically, so let me be on the lookout for this drive. And I want to give a big shout out to the people of the Vintage Computer Federation who looked at their museum and saw if they would have one to lend me for a video. They were willing to do that. But unfortunately, the individuals I spoke to said, no, we don't know if we have one. If we did, we don't really know where it would be at the moment, because off the top of their head, they really didn't think they had one. So no, that's okay. And then Foon on Twitter was very kind. I contacted him and he said, yes, I have one. You could borrow it for a video. He was going to send it along. But the shipping costs, not his fault, but the size of this thing was going to be about, $30 or $40 each way, because I would get it and I'd send it back. So for about that price, there was one of these on eBay, and this is the interface that's on the back. So it has its own power supply, and it has this, I think it's 36 pins. It looks like a SCSI port, but it's much wider. It's a 36 pin adapter. Yeah, and this cable's long too. I mean, woo! It's like a lasso. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not parallel. But in addition, we got some other stuff here. And you could probably guess what these are. These be floppies. So the auction was for this drive and the floppies. And I'm sure there's a controller card in there too, because the controller card on the PS2 end is very basic. But anyway, it came with a bunch of discs, a bunch of software. There's like 3 or 4 Apple II discs in here, which is interesting. So I don't know where these discs came from. I'm not going to show you all of them. There was just a few that I want to point out here. This one was cool because it has the whole Egghead software thing. There used to be an Egghead software not too far away from me, so I remember that store vividly. This is one that predates that, but I think that was cool. There's one of these little slim holders. I think that's really cool. That holds these old floppy disks. And Timeline 4.0 is on there, whatever that is. We have a bunch of Microsoft C floppy disks, so if you want to do some programming, well, that's the way to go. Let's put these back in here. There's many more in there. I'm just not going to go through them all. I'm going to do a video about this. Do not worry. And when my friend Mike comes over, I think we're going to tackle this together because he knows a lot more about this stuff than I do. And I'm not plugging it in to have it go up in smoke without Mike there to beat me over the head. We do have full copies of Microsoft Windows 3.0 and 3.1 on the original floppy disks. From B's to C's. Oh, Sean, you're going to have to come over and just be in the corner and just shout out these jokes the entire time. That's the only way we're going to get through it. And what else? Yeah, there's versions of PowerPoint and Excel. IBM Brothers Keeper. I don't know what that is. And this is interesting. This had 2 disks. VSpy or ViSpy, however you want to pronounce that. I don't know what it is. Version 3, but it's on a 3.5 inch and a 5 1/4 inch disc. So, hey, Retro Chris, thank you very much for stopping by. Nice to have you there. Hope you are enjoying the stream. Yeah, so oh no, we're getting DOS commands in the chat. You're gonna take down the chat. YouTube isn't built for this. I guess it's an editor. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm not gonna be plugging this in today. Oh my goodness, this is heavy. But yeah, this thing is a beast. It's gonna be fun to plug this in to see if it works. Now, I had to find the special drive that had an asterisk right here that signified this is a 360 kilobyte drive. So a lot of those disks are 1.2 meg, so I don't think they'll be read in this one. But this is the drive that's compatible with the controller card that I had, so this is very specific. So yeah, it seems like in a lot of disks you can wipe and use for Apple II software. Yeah, well, that's what you could do. Yeah. I don't know, the one that the documentation that I read in multiple spaces said you needed the one with the asterisks on here that signified this was the 360 model. So we'll find out. We'll find out if I just wasted a bunch of money. But all right, let me clean some of this stuff up. We have a G4. I swear we're going to look at it. We're 50 minutes in. Sorry. And we're going to look at that. So let's clean up our desk space here with all the crap we pulled out. And this is why my videos never get done, because there's just more things that come in my way. And a big thank you to every single one of you who supports me on Patreon to help me fund some of these silly purchases, because they go right back into the video content that I create. And without it, I would not be able to explore some of these weird things in full detail. So, I know it's actually nice to have a longer cable. All right, so yes, give a like to the stream, all 60 of you watching, if you feel like it. I'm just gonna move some of these boxes. I'm not going everywhere. But I'm just gonna be cleaning up a little bit so I can get that G4 over here, and we can start talking about that, because I would love to get that working again. And I'll explain what the issue was, or is. Hopefully it's still having the same issue. Hopefully it didn't make a new one. Yes, supporting me in spirit by liking and subscribing is also very helpful. So thank you very much. Yes, it did arrive, Apache Thunder. It is upstairs. I just did not take it down yet. But thank you very much for the cursed Apple 300i drive. I'm sure that's going to be not used as a paperweight, because I'd like to get that working. But thank you very much for sending it over. And I will be looking at your Mac that you sent over sometime soon, once we're doing a repair stream. Let me get these boxes out of the way. Gonna move this one over here. And this PC tower can go on the floor because it's no longer needed. We are not going to be playing with it today. And I need to find a place for this documentation, which is probably going to go over there. So you can look at this PC for a moment and my tripod as I wobble around over here. All right, I think that gives us some more room to work with here. Oh, boy. Yeah, I just get confused with the editors because I don't spend a lot of time with them. So when I have to switch from one to the other, I'm like, what do I have to do again? So, PC81, what's that? It's a sea of beige! Yeah, there's a lot of beige. There's a lot of it. Alright, so let's get something that's not beige out here, but graphite. Huh? This I got for like $5 at a yard's flea market that was close by. And it's in really good shape. I think it just needs a fresh install. It had the stickers on it, so I'm like, my goodness, look at that. Got 2 USB ports. It's a dusty one. But 2 USB ports, 2 serial, has a modem, of course it does. A VGA card there. You got a MIDI port, your sound in and out, game port or whatever. Parallel, PS2 mice or whatever. What model is this? Model 8950. It's a Windows 98 machine with a Pentium 2 processor, but I thought maybe I could use this with that Buzz drive thing. So, yeah, I don't know, but it's in pretty darn good shape. I do have another, no, that's a compact, but I have a compact with a matching CRT. I was going to play around with that because that has a built-in Iomega drive, but this is the one that I was going to play around with. And then I was looking at some of the requirements for it, and I thought, maybe not. Yes, there's a lot of space, Joe, but as Sean can attest to, there's not a lot of walking space. So that is a problem that is continuing to get worse. I'm really trying, I'm really trying to clean up the place so it is walkable. As Mike and Sean can attest to the cramped nature of this joint. And I am using a wide-angle camera lens. I know that is a little obvious in some angles, but it is. I don't look this skinny. All right, so let's open up another shelf building stream. I'm sorry you're getting seasick. All right, so let's go and find that G4. It's here somewhere, and I'm going to bring it out. So the problem with this G4 is that it was running as my sort of OS 9 bridge machine for a while, and it was sitting right over there next to, well, where that Macintosh Performa 550 is right now. It was sitting right over there, and it was working great. And just one day, it just booted into open firmware. It just didn't want to do anything. Ah, yes, that Performa box was a kind donation from someone who I bought a lot of stuff from, and Mike was very nice to bring that over and drive it over. There's no need to bring the fire department involved, not at least at this time. So, yeah. I was in a fine mood. It was just hard to put together that thing and lift all the metal. It was heavy. It was heavy. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to build that divider here or I'm going to move it down. I decided I need to slow down with it. I need to take control over this mess of boxes, this sea of boxes. Because that bathroom area is still cleaned out. That's why. So I had a flood a while ago with the pipes. It was lovely. And so I had to take everything out of that room, which was packed with boxes on shelves and stuff, and had to bring it out here. That's why everything's sort of scattered. So, all right, let me get that G4, and we will take her around with it. One moment. Now I have a few G4s that are graphites. Let's hope this is the right one. Mr. Gorbachev, erect a wall of Mac classics. All right, so, whew. All right, so workshop. I moved here for more space. Old house had 12 by 12 on the second floor, and that house literally sagged with the weight. Oh my goodness, that sounds like it was fun, Joe. Well, Joe, if you ever visit VCF East or anything like that, I extend you an invitation to traverse the maze and the death trap that is my basement, as long as you sign a legal waiver. All right, so I think this is the one that I had over there. Yeah, I think so. Well, we'll find out. If this gives us the open firmware beep 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 beep, then we know this is it. Is this sponsored by Iomega? I wish. A part of me wishes that I had Iomega.com and I would just like rebuild the website and make fake photoshops with Dana Siberia of like Iomega products, and then they'd probably sue me into oblivion. But that would be fun, wouldn't it? That would be fun before I went to jail. All right, so let's adjust that just a little bit. I'm going to get a keyboard. It's a good thing about having crap all over the basement. The keyboard's right here. All right, and then we need a video cable, majig, so we could... Well, that's almost going to reach. Hold on. We don't want to knock over anything here. We've done enough of that already before the stream. Oh, boy. Yeah, so this will... Yeah, we could move that over a little bit. There we go. This should... maybe... I need longer VGA cables. Anyway, we'll make this work. 66 people watching. Thank you very much for your interest. I don't know if you're watching just to wait for a pile of computers to fall from a wall and crush me. That could still happen. So more power to you. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is, I think it's a 450. Yeah, this is a 450 megahertz model. I have a sticker on here that says from work, because this was one that my old job was literally throwing away, and the hoarder that I am could not say no to this poor G4. So let's, did I say the hoarder that I know? The hoarder that I am. Words, Stephen. Words. All right, so let's get a adapter here for, is that, yeah, that's a DVI and ADC video card. So where the heck did my DVI adapter go? I always have the DB15s at ready. I think that's one there. Let me grab that. Again. It's good to have crap all over. Sometimes. Not that kind of crap. Alright, so we have this. Oh, that's a VGA extension. Well, that would help us slightly. We're gonna use all the dongles. This was from a G4 Cube. This will give us a little bit more slack so we don't pull our video scaler out from the wall. And now we need VGA to DVI. And we have one of those right here. This is an aftermarket one for Mac Mini. I bought this while on a trip to Seattle for a friend's wedding. It was at a Goodwill. That was a good Goodwill. I got a lot of cool adapters at that Goodwill. My goodness. Dongle time with Steve. You know, you could edit a lot of things with the Video Vision if you had a lot of patience, but that was not working out for me that day. And I got a lot of good comments of feedback of like, oh, try this, try that. No, I think I will get around to it. It's just going to take me a while. All right, so let's see. Of course, that should hopefully fit there, maybe. All right, so we have the video. I'm going to hope that my VGA capture dealy box, whatever Shimon want to call it, will work. I'm going to plug our keyboard in. I'll get a mouse in there. We don't have to have that plugged in on startup. But I think what happened is this goes to sort of a gray screen and just sort of sits there. Let me just make some room by my feet here so I could bring this table just an inch or two closer. As it sort of wiggles along there. Let's put that down there. And we're going to plug this in. And we're going to turn it on. Well, let's switch to this other view here. 1 second, please. We want to make sure my camera's in there so you can see my smiling face. Alright, and we're going to just move that over a bit. Just give me a moment to set this up, because I did not do this before. And we're going to transition over. Whee! All right, and let's see if we get any video from this thing. So it does chime, which is good. I have no idea what Goodwill it is. I probably have photos of that, but it was someplace in Seattle. I have no idea where it was. All right, I'm getting a video signal on the monitor here, but not on my capture box. Hold on. This capture box is like the devil. It sometimes wants to work, and other times it's like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. Why would we help you out here, buddy? All right, let's double click on this. Click on it again. So OBS is seeing the device. I always seem to have this problem with this thing. It works when it feels like it, and that's literally all it does. And it's booting! What the hell? How is that booting up? Why is it booting up there? And why isn't this capturing it? Because... Come on. There we go. What? What? Alright, let's let this boot up here. I'm very curious. Why? Maybe you just wanted to be off for a while. I struggled with this machine for like weeks trying to get it to work. I fixed it. There we go. No, we're gonna get to the bottom of this because I want to make sure I don't have to fuss around with this machine before. Again, words. Now fix the 848V. No. Oh yeah, so here's the machine. Letters I wrote to people on my image writer, all this fun stuff. Alright, so let's, I need a mouse to plug into this machine. Where's my mices? Where's my mice? Where'd the mouse go? There's so many mice over there. I don't want to give up. I'm lazy. There should be another one right here. Yeah, here it is. There we go. Clean your desktop. Never. This was plugged into a display at much higher than 640 by 480 resolution. That's why everything is stacked. This was plugged in to the display you saw in the thumbnail. A glorious 17-inch CRT display. Yes, I sent some buttons to people, and those are the letters that accompany that. So there's a bunch of stuff on here. There's banners and stuff that I send to my Patreon folks and all this fun stuff. And we have macOS 10 on here. Of course we have Unreal Tournament, because how could you not have Unreal Tournament? I mean, come on. Let's see if we get anything. I think this adapter that we're using is just... Yeah, let's go. See, it doesn't even let me show anything else. And we have... Oh, that's... I think that's... Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me confirm my assumption here. I don't think the video drivers are installed for this particular video card. And that's when Open Firmware went kablamo on me. I believe this is an NVIDIA GeForce 4 MX 32 megabyte video card. So it's like the basement in digital form. Yeah, damn right it is. So let's do this. Let's start up in macOS 10, if it lets us here. I've shown the Star Wars screensaver off on many streams. It's not going to cooperate on macOS 9, I can tell you that. Did this fail to install? Oh yeah, we don't even have the thing on here. How about that? I think what I was going to do was install macOS 10, and then this machine sort of went and decided it didn't want to do that anymore. It hated me. But yeah, so we could try putting in a different video card in here and seeing if that resolves the issue if you guys want. What do you guys say? What do you say? What do you say? I think that might be a good idea. And who knows, maybe this will surprise us and do its open firmware magic. By magic, I mean explode. All 73 people of you watching, thank you very much. We're going to continue playing around with this. Hello, Dana. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we're going to try and install this video card without breaking everything here. So let me switch the screen here so you see, you're going to see the G4 in full screen. Oh boy. Alright, so I'm going to pull this down. Let me adjust the camera here so you get a better look at what's going on inside this bad boy. Hello, Burrow Cakes. Welcome to the stream. Hello, David. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so We have an NVIDIA GeForce 4 card in here. I don't know if that ever had OS 9 drivers. Does anybody know if that ever had OS 9 drivers? I really am not sure. But I do have those other video cards. Hopefully, they will work. And see if they'll give us more resolutions and such. I think that's why I was installing macOS 10 on here, and that's when I ran into the open firmware issue. I don't know what the heck was going on there. And what is this piece of broken plastic in here? That's sad. Oh, is this... Oh, this was... I see where it went. This went here. This went right here on this clip. It must have, like, closed wrong once, but... Oh, that's sad. Well, it still grips closed. And I could probably... No, if I glue that, it's just going to snap back. But I'm just going to put it back in the corner. It's like we never saw it. But, yeah, let's try and find a suitable video card for this. So I'm going to go grab the ones I just had. And we're going to install some video cards. How about that? Snap it off? Why the heck would you do that? That's just mean. 9800 drivers have to be installed before you change the card sometime. Okay, interesting. Thermal welded. Alright, so we have the Rage 128. We have two of them. I'm going to do the one without the whatchamacallit, without the power rail, because this G4 is an early one, and you'll see, if you have a keen eye, you'll see that this little contact here, to get my fat hand out of the way, there's a little contact here that's holding in, that would plug in on later G4s to get power for the ADC connector, and so this doesn't have it. So we're going to install the Rage card in here. I need to get my screwdriver out here so we could undo that screw. And if this G4 works, we're going to play around with it, because yay! I love this machine. I've said many times in other streams that one of my huge dorky loves of my youth was playing around with my father's 450 megahertz AGP G4 tower. Same exact model of this. I still have that machine. I don't tend to use it because the audio port is damaged on it. So I tend to use other machines that I've acquired because they seem to work. All right, so this is that GeForce 32 megabyte card. So I'm going to put this aside, and let's put in this Rage 128 card. So this has DVI on it and VGA. So there we go. And yeah, there we go. 1.5 gigs max in it. So is someone going to step up and create an M1 accelerator for older Macs? Yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, more power to you, but I really don't think that's going to happen. Unless Apple makes an Intel Mac Pro and builds their own accelerator card, which I don't think is going to happen. But anyway, where did I put that screw? I just had it. And I moved it. See, I talk and I do things at the same time. There it is. They made a few. They made digital audio versions. The first G4 that came in graphite was PCI graphics based, so it did not have an AGP slot. The second model was an AGP slot one. Then I believe they had a gigabit Ethernet model and a digital audio model. So they had quite a few. M1 upgrade for the Quadro 700. You could hope. Yes, yes, yes. I'm just saying. All right, so in this machine, we have a SCSI card already. We have a blank PCI card slot with a panel that's open. I'm curious if this is a Mac-compatible Ethernet card. So we're going to plug that in here just for the heck of it. A lot of dust in here, but what else is new? But Steven, you're introducing too many variables at the same time. Honey, this is Mac84. We're just going to go with it. All right, so we have a 40 gigabyte Western Digital hard drive in here. We are going to close up our G4. Whoopsie. Spin this baby around. Yeah, I hope it'll work, because I have some Mac clones and other PowerPC clones. Oh, older PowerPC machines that have 10 base Ethernet, and having 100 base Ethernet would be excellent, but some of them are just not recognized because they just don't have the proper software. Okay, so we're going to plug everything back into this machine, and we'll see if we can get those supported resolutions. So I guess we'll use the DVI connector again. Why the heck not? Is this maybe? Yeah. No, wait, yeah. Okay. Oh, how you not doing it? Come on. Oh, is this actually made for... Yeah, this is made for a different revision of DVI, which will not plug in to this particular model, so we're just going to use VGA. So... Sorry you're not seeing the front of it. That's just, I don't have enough space to put the wire together. Alright, and we're going to plug in our mouse. Yes, exactly. Yeah, wrong. There's different DVI flavors. You don't want to force DVI plugs if you try and do that, because you'll have a bad time. Alright, let's transition back to this mode. We're going to plug in power and see if this guy will support higher resolutions than we'd had before. Yes, the DVI Wikipedia page is a fun read if you're bored. Alright, looks like it's recognizing the monitor here. Come on. Come on. There we go. A nice gray screen. Raise this a little higher so you can see me if you want to. So you have the cursor. Oh, don't get me wrong. I would love like an M1 adapter card or whatever, but I mean, let's be serious. They would never do that. All right, so we're booting into 9.2 here. And these machines are workhorses. They're excellent. Don't get me wrong. I love a Quicksilver. I love an MDD, but there's something special about these first G4s that I love. Yes, I think Sean did a video on a SATA card that worked as well on these older Macs, and they had to flash it, but he bought one and it wasn't flashed. Hope he got his money back from that seller. That was dumb. Alright, so we are in a much higher resolution than before, so that helped. So now we have to do cleanup. Not really going to clean it up, but yeah. You can see my Macintosh clone script. My goodness, how old was that? How old was that? Well, July 11th, 2020. So that tells you when I was working on that. So let's bring the control strip down. Now, for those of you who do not know how to move the control strip down, hold down the Option key. Your cursor goes to a little hand, and you could drag that down. I know that is maddening to some of you. Let's switch this to 800 by 600. Just give us less of you guys the need to squint or anything. Yeah, no, the control strip is silly. I like it, though. Some people hate it. Bruce! I hope this doesn't start going flickery. Like, sometimes this scaler just has a mind of its own. It's just going to start blinking around. Hopefully it doesn't do that, because that would be very annoying. Alright, so let's take a look at what this machine has in it. So we have 512 megabytes of memory. That is very respectable for a Mac OS 9 machine, I must say so. Hey, Matthew, how's it going? I think Bruce would agree with you, Adam. The best way to fix a control strip is by throwing the extension in the trash. Oh, that's harsh. That is harsh. Oh, I think that's hilarious. Good one, Adam. Alright. So, yeah, I was using this machine as a in-between for my Macintosh clone and a few others. And this has largely been replaced, because this was acting as a file server before I had the Open Transport stuff installed on one of the other PowerPC Macs. And this was actually being, has been replaced by one of the G4 Mac Minis that I have. But I still love this machine. Has SCSI, which I can't put into the Mac Mini feasibly. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good plus of it. And we're going to see if that Ethernet card wants to work. That would be nice. You have a Mac Store IDE RAID card that works in both. I do have an IDE Mac Store card somewhere, but I believe it's a PC one. Because it came with a hard drive meant for PCs. I don't think that I have any of them that are Mac compatible. We'll find out one day when I find it. So here's an Ethernet cable. I like the control strip from Branket to the poopy head. Alright, so we're going to plug this Ethernet cable into our Ethernet card. Let's see if any lights come on. No lights. Well, let's go to ye old system profiler here. And so this is 9.2.1. That's our memory. Let's see if we have... Let's go to, I guess, device and volumes. That'll tell us if we have any PCI cards plugged in. So, card type not available. So that would be our Ethernet card. I believe this one is our SCSI card. Let's see if the TCP IP control panel sees it. Nah, it does not see the card. We might not have the right drivers for it, but that's okay. We're just going to use the built-in Ethernet. So let me unplug this and plug it directly into that. And we're going to use that instead. Yes, we can install Mac OS 10. That was what I was trying to do months ago. Because I had this partitioned, but I just never got around to it. Oh, Unreal Tournament on here. Let's just see how this plays. We're not gonna get into a 5-hour match. I promise you. I just want to see, because we went from the whatever card we were using to this. This is a 16 megabyte, I believe, ATI Rage Pro. Oh, the install wouldn't take that long. Control strip is for losers. Is that the shirts that you're having printed up, Bruce? Oh crap! I don't have the CD in here, so it's probably not going to like that. I don't think I could play this because I don't have the non-CD thing. But we'll. Oh wait, there it goes. Maybe it won't complain about it. Ah, look at that. In 21 blah blah blah, in an effort to control violence against deep space miners.
In 2291, in an attempt to control violence among deep space
See?
miners.
Who's been playing this game for too long? This guy! Alright, so let's go into here. Preferences. 800 by 600 is a respectable resolution, I'd say. Did I do any of the settings in here? I did not. Why are all the... Yeah, let's reset this. Why? Not everything is bound at all. That's concerning. You just can't use some of the things. Is jump at least set? Yeah, jump. Okay, so close that. I'm not gonna play this for too long. I just want to see how it handles. Player. Let's just say Mac84. Death match. I don't think I played this profile. Oblivion. We're gonna skip the first one because there's nudity in it. All right, and we're gonna battle this bot Blake. Good old Blake. And let's get the frames per second up here. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. So we are running at 13 frames per second. Not exactly the best, but it's playable. You know, I'd say that's playable. Yes, you do, Toby. Thank you very much for the super chat. Eep! You do need to play with us. I wonder if I do have the graphics drivers installed on this. Hold on a second. Software rendering. Yeah, that's a big no. That's why we're only getting 15 frames per second. I do have a Voodoo 2 card, but that's a whole other story. Okay, so it is not seeing the graphics acceleration here. Otherwise, Rave would be here. So it's only seeing software rendering. So this is what we have to do here. We have to get out of this. I think I disabled some of the ATI extensions because I put that NVIDIA card in here. Yes, I did. Look at that. Oh, you silly old man, Steven. You disabled some of these things that you needed. Alright, so let's put some of that ATI stuff back. I should ideally set up a different profiles here, but I was young and foolish. Just enable all of these. I'm sure they'll conflict with each other. We'll have a grand old time. Alright, let's go to NVIDIA here and disable those. Yeah, here we go. So I did have drivers for the NVIDIA card. I just think that maybe they weren't for this particular one, but oh well. Oh well. Alright, so let's reboot. Bong. And yeah, I remember this running at a decent frame rate. So 15 frames per second I don't think is acceptable performance for what the graphics card that we have in here for. Because you have to think, back in the days, what was running on this. That's what they had. 16 megabytes. Megabytes. It is megabytes. I'll be here all week. Alright, so let's adjust some things here, because we don't need to see all of this machine in there. We're just going to shrink me down to a wee little thing. There we go. That's much better. So this is a 16 megabyte ATI Rage Pro, I believe, graphics card. We're going to check in System Profiler once the machine decides to start up again. Any minute now. There we go. There's our happy Mac. To all nearly 70 people of you guys watching, thank you very much. If you please consider subscribing to the channel, if you have not done so already, or at least clicking the like button or the dislike button. It's up to you. Greatly appreciate it. It shows that people are interacting with my channel and that they like it. I think we're about 6,500 subscribers, which is freaking fantastic. But I'd love to make it to 7,000 or some arbitrary number like that, just to say we did it. And you're a part of it too, so thank you. I wish my Macintosh 2 had that much memory as well. Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to go up to about this computer again. So again, this is a PowerMac G4 450 megahertz model running 9.2.1 with 512 megabytes of memory. We have an ATI Rage 128 graphics card. Let's hope that those drivers are making this card happy. So ATI Rage Pro, 16 megabytes of memory. Now, if we were to launch Unreal Tournament, which should have been in our recent applications, I don't know why it's not there, but we're going to double click on it. 1 million subs would be fan-freaking-tastic amazing. I'd be happy with 10,000 or 100,000 or, I was happy with 50. So, but I'm very, very pleased that everyone seems to be enjoying the channel. I do apologize that there haven't been as many scripted videos, the non-live videos as I would prefer. But a lot of things are in the works, and I hope to get some of those out fairly soon. It's very difficult for me to keep a weekly schedule, so that's why I try to do the live streams to at least give you something. This machine's still running like a champ, too, so... Or is it stat FPS? Yeah, so we're still at like 11 frames per second. Let's go back to preferences here. Change the rendering. And see if this actually will show the proper rendering options. There we go, Rave. That's what we want. There we go. Alright, so Rave 128. So it has selected the Rage 128 renderer, which is excellent. High quality sound, high detail player skins, high detail textures, standard renderer. Yeah. Stop it. I am on the network, Mike. Are you saying you would like to play a game? Is there a little chat going on? No, there's not. Oh boy, Steve, are you on the network or day trips? A quick take 100. Yes, I'm not connected to a server just yet. I'm just seeing how this runs first. Jay, because then you're gonna log into that server. We've been through this dance before. Jay's gonna log into the server and he's gonna add like 1 billion bots to it, and just make me look like I don't know how to play the game, which is false. So we are running at about 30 frames per second on this intro. Now it's up to 60. Not bad at all. Like you kill something that runs away faster. So I think this is at 640 by 480. I just want to do a quick comparison here. Let's go back to our tournament that we were doing here. And just on single player, just for an example here. Let's see how this runs. Yeah, much smoother. Oh yeah, we're getting to like 60 frames per second. Look how buttery smooth this is. Oh, you took the flat cannon, you jerk. So this is running much better. We're getting around, 30 to 50 frames per second, depending on what we're doing here. It's funny because the contrast of the capture is much easier to see than the LCD monitor I'm looking at. How dare you throw rockets at me, good sir? So yeah, I could do this all day. Let's see what this changes to if we go to 800 by 600. It will let me go down. Come on. Let's do this. Just it's doubled. I think. I think that's what, no. We don't want that. Yeah, I can't select further down than that. Maybe if I go like this. Yeah, there we go. Always a bit tricky with these user interfaces. Yes. Yeah, so still getting like 40 to 50 frames per second. Fantastic. I mean, and everything's set to high settings, I believe. Let's see. 32-bit color depth, world texture detail high. I think that's, yeah, low, medium, high. That's high. Let's set the brightness just up. Well, this monitor. Let me tilt the monitor down because it's that's what's throwing me off here. Aim for feet. Oh yeah. So let's see. So we're at that frames per second here. I'm just curious to see. Let's see if we boost that to a higher resolution here. Oh, this is still pretty playable. It's hard for me to read, but I think we're at 30 frames per second about. It'll probably dip when we get into an encounter. And the later levels, when you have multiple people, it's not going to be as smooth as this, but it's a fairly small map. Ah, I killed. I got kills. I got kills. I need to set some of the binding... Oh, here we go. So now I can see the FPS counter. Yeah, so it's about 30 frames per second. Not bad for 1024 by 768. I mean, that's an insanely detailed resolution. If you were using a CRT monitor back in the day, all 20 inches of this image plastered on that display would have looked freaking beautiful. So this is pretty much setting the settings to the max. I mean, I could go in and I could change it manually to a higher setting or something like that, but I mean, really, this is playing it pretty darn well. Let's try and get into a different map here. Yeah, give me an IP address to connect to, and I will I will try. Find new internet games. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work anymore, but I'm sure you guys are spamming my phone, which you're not. Yeah, text me a URL, and I will join in there. I know, poor Blake. We sort of left him hanging there, didn't he? Let's see. Yeah, I'm surprised at how playable it is. All right. Oh no, see that's the one, Jay, that you have access to, and I know you're gonna add like 50 bots to it. The second you do that, I'm out of there. What? He's up to his old tricks again. See you, Adam. Thank you very much for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, I misspelled that because I'm an idiot. Is it gonna still download, or did it like cut itself off? Here, let me try again. Connection failed. I don't know why the connection has failed. Let me how do I exit this tournament? I guess I just gotta kill him. Oh, come on. You had a flak cannon. I had the pistol. Let's try this again. Yeah, it's going to have to download all of these things. Like all of these skins and these maps. And I don't think it's going to be happy doing that. Certain Emacs will run Mac OS 9 natively. And this is version 436. This is one of the latest ones. So I mean that I know that server tends to have a lot of add-ons, like a lot of them do. So this might not be happy connecting to that to download all those. Yeah, I don't know what. Let me just try quitting and just starting, because I don't know if it's conflicting with anything of it being in a game and trying to connect. Usually it doesn't do that, but you never know. So let's try that again. I did have a Radius monitor at some point in time. I have the Radius pivot displays, but those are a bit different. Yeah, the Ethernet cable is plugged in, otherwise it wouldn't connect at all. But make sure that doesn't come out. Old school rendition video cards. I've never heard of those. Were those for PCs or Macs, Matthew? Never heard of those. Hey, Justin, we gave you a shout out before for sending me that dealie for my microscope at the top of the hour, or the top of the show. That was about an hour and 40 minutes ago. Now we're playing around with the G4, and of course we're testing it with Unreal Tournament. But thank you very much, Justin. That was very, very kind of you. So let's try and do what we were doing before. It seems to be wanting to do it a little bit better now than it was before. Success. All right. So downloaded only skeletal characters. Okay. All right. All right. So we're in here, I guess. So this is a server. Steve's here. Oh boy. And we have Mike and we have Jay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, 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 hey. Of course you're all shielded up. You're all shielded up. All shielded up. And no fair, Jay can see where I am, although there is a latency. You both had shields. No fair. Oh, boy. I had the super jump, at least. Hopefully this is mildly interesting to you. I'm fighting some of my friends who are watching me here. This is like them esports, right? Oh my goodness. Oddity. This game brings back a lot of memories. I don't know if some of you guys grew up with like Counter-Strike or Halo or stuff like that, but this is the game that I grew up playing that really pushed almost the limits of the machine. And I was very, very, very pleased to have a game that was popular like this. Wait. I want to put the stats counter up so I can see how low the frames per second are dipping. Let me run away first. My goodness. What are you writing? Oh, that's great. All right, hold on. Yeah, so it's running at 30 frames per second. I'm going to change the resolution. And I'm going to get killed because I'm... Nice sportsmanship there, buddy. Oh, don't worry. I'll get you. I'll get you. Yeah, that was very kind of you, sir. Yeah, kill the man with only the pistol. Very, very, very tall of you. Alright, so let's get some weapons again here, because that's how this game works. Hopefully this is not boring anybody to tears, but now I have a grudge and I have to mop the floor with Jay. Oddity. Jay always chooses the characters that makes the weird noises. Oh, and my weapons things are not configured. I cannot switch between... I have to use the keyboard. That's annoying. This is going to be me complaining about this game. And I already lost 10 people watching, so I apologize. We'll get back to tinkering around with this machine in a moment, I promise you. We'll have a fun time indeed. Patent pending. don't you both gang up on me? Ah! Good evening! Hello, Mr. Fahrenheit. I thanked you earlier for your expertise on helping me get rid of the troubling issues I was having with that Iomega Buzz CD. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, again. Well, I'm not going to play this all night. You can enjoy killing each other. I want to see what other things I had installed on this machine before it stopped working. Because it seems to be working fine now. I don't know what was going on. But, my goodness. GTA is annoying on the controllers. Let me scroll back up to the chat because I apologize. I was playing a game before. Yeah, so I don't know what was happening. Basically, the machine would start up. It would go boop boop boop, like make the weird open firmware noises, and then it would just not start up. I don't know what was going on. Let's see. No, yeah, they did not lose your package, so I was very, very happy about that. Yes, my channel is called Mac84 because the Macintosh debuted in 1984. Yes, I do have a Twitch channel. I just don't use it that much, and it would be fun to use one of these on Twitch. That would be unique. So I'll play with those guys on a stream like that, and when I have an actual. I love gaming on a CRT. I don't like gaming on the LCDs here. Let's see, hard drive sailing. Yeah, earlier I was saying that what would happen is this would boot into open firmware and would get stuck. Zip, jazz, buzz, click, and I'm sure I forgot a few. Yeah, there were quite a few. All right, so let's see what I have here. It is it's past midnight. That's I did not expect it to be that late. I did not know we were playing around for that long. But anyway, we still have 60 people watching, so let's try and figure out what we're going to do next here. So I did do a few things for those of you who just joined. Let's change the resolution to a little higher just because that's what it's going to be when it's set up correctly. What's also a little bit annoying here is the screen that I have plugged in here is plugged in through the capture device, and everything is squished horizontally. So you see the image in a beautiful, 4:3 aspect ratio. I see it in more like a 3:3 aspect ratio. So if I take the camera off the tripod here, you'll see that the screen I have here, there are pillars on the left and the right. And this is the screen I was using, looking at while I was playing the game. A little disorienting when you're trying to aim, obviously. And you can see through the video capture here, it is normal. So yeah, that's something I need to address. The problem is this monitor is a 4:3 panel, and it cannot really handle the 16:9 resolutions. So I need to get a different monitor for that. But this monitor has a lot of inputs, and I like to use that. So okay, sorry, what we were saying. What version of macOS is supposed to go on a G4? I would say Tiger is a safe bet. With Tiger, you really can't go wrong. Leopard can slow down on some machines, but Tiger, you really can't go wrong. Let's open this clone script. I want to see what version this was. How many years? Oh, geez, July 9th, 2020. My goodness, yes, this is my rough one when I had a lot of details in there. So I do tend to print out my scripts on my image writer, and this was plugged into my image writer. So yeah, that's a blast from the past. Apple server messages. Read before you install. Star Wars screensaver. Yeah, so here's I would send and receive stuff from the machine. I have some Newton files here. Yeah, that was the last time I remember using this machine. I had to transfer some stuff with the Newton. I just think maybe it didn't like that graphics card. Maybe it was just hanging out there and getting stuck. I don't know. Let's see what we were doing here. Yeah, here's from my clone. I was transferring stuff. Yeah, Lido 7. Now, I did have a second hard drive in here. I wonder if that's still over there. But anyway, I used to have 2 physical hard drives in here, and I switched that. So, yeah, because I did have the other one from the G3 tower. Because the G3 tower I was using, all of a sudden the power supply died, so or something happened to it. Way to keep Mac hard drives from crashing. No, the old drives are going to do what they do. They old. That's unfortunately the way they go. Yeah, I didn't even know about the Buzz Iomega things back in the day. Just completely forgot about it. So, all right. So let's see what we got here. SSD. Why was that be named SSD? Well, anyway. So I was trying to install Mac OS 10. Here it is. What version is this for? Well, it mentions the Emac, so this has to be like Tiger, a later version of Tiger, or Jaguar or something. So it was like 2002. Yeah, 2002. I don't know what version of OS 10 I was installing on here. I mean, Tiger is my go-to. I'd love to install Tiger on here, but I don't know if an OS 10 install would be the most exciting content. Because from a CD-ROM drive, from a physical drive, that could take quite a long while to install. Don't want to bore everyone there. But, yeah. Mr. Fahrenheit said he picked up a SCSI card for his PCIe G5 machine. Apparently also works on a Mac Pro. That is very cool. That would make transfers a lot easier. Very, very cool. What brand is that? It's very neat. I'd watch, though. Yeah, I know some people would, but I know a lot of people won't. Oh, boy. I want to talk about some of my favorite things on this machine, though. One of them is this print to PDF, and you could find that on Macintosh Garden. But what it essentially allows you to do is print to a PDF document, something that we have, full complacency with, because that's built into Mac OS 10 for years now. But in OS 9, that was not the case. So I could open something like, let's say, this clone script, and I could go to File. Well, if I chose it in the chooser here. If I go to File and Print, and we'll just do page 1-to-1. Don't want to make this too crazy here. And it's going to ask me to save a PDF, and I can save that to the desktop here. I could quit that, and I could find the PDF file that I just made, which is right here. And there you go. I could print right to a PDF. That's great if I wanted to do a banner or something in Print Shop Deluxe. Same exact thing. So it just gives you some opportunity to do that. Oh yeah, the Iomega Photo Show. Those are all over eBay. Nobody could ever ditch those. It's just basically something that plugs into your TV. You view photos on it, but yeah. Oh, I did not know that, Mr. Fahrenheit. That's a good workaround. I always just use the print to PDF thing because it just gave me a PDF right away. But I didn't know you could do that. That's neat. That's really cool. Yeah, anything else that I was transferring on here? I'd fetch here. Oh, yes, I was testing some Macintosh Garden things with the Hotline client. Oh, that takes me back. Here's a bunch of Print Shop Deluxe documents. Yeah, so I have to copy some of those files. Let me do that now. Because some of the stuff on this hard drive is not anywhere else. Why? Oh, AppleTalk is probably not enabled. That's why. Yeah, not on the airport port. We're going to do that on Ethernet. Yeah, Iomega had a prototype for a camera that used the zip disks, and so I have an eBay saved search, and if anybody ever finds one, let me know. I have an eBay saved search for such a device, and it always comes up with the Iomega Photo Show. I'm like, I don't want that. I want the camera they never released. Because it's sitting around in someone's basement somewhere if it hasn't been recycled already. So I'm connected to my Mac Mini G4 on the network. And here's our transfers folder. I'm going to say from G4 AGP. This is July 11th, 2021. And all of my Print Shop Deluxe documents and stuff, that's what I want to save off. Save here. I think that was the most important thing. Oh, I have some letters and stuff. My personal correspondence. I actually have. It'll make you laugh, but it's a floppy disk, and this is something I actually use. This is a floppy disk of my jobs. So I type in job details about my machines, and I put them onto a ticketing system that I have. But a lot of the time, I will type them on that machine there, that Quadra that's plugged into that big CRT with a piece of paper in front of it. And I will back them up onto floppy. Now, I do have it over the network, and I do copy them, but never hurts to back up to another spot. And they're text files, so there's plenty of space there. All right, so let me just open this up, and let me just drag the rest of those files there just to make sure I have them. Sure, we'll grab you. We'll grab you. They're such small files, it doesn't make a difference. Cool. All right, so those are all in a different place now. Did Sony come out with a camera? Yes, Sony came out with a camera, but it had floppy disks, not zip disks. Now, Panasonic came out with a camera that did super disks. That was the competitor, or one of them, to Iomega's zip disk. And the super disk could hold 120 megabytes. I do have one of those. It does work. Last time I used it was 2016. I took a picture of the eclipse. That was really cool. So, yeah. Can I test the Power Mac? So I am using a Power Mac here, so we're at the peak of testing here. Yeah, I don't know really what else to do with this machine. We played some games on it. We tested it out. Trying to think of anything else I have to show off at this point, because we've been going for about 2 hours now. Not sure what else to do. Trying to think. Trying to think if I have anything of interest to poke around with here, or if I'm going to call it a night. Pretty much covered all the other things at the top of the show, and you're just staring at a blank desktop here. After Dark toasters. Well, yeah, I don't think I have After Dark installed on 9 here, because that, yeah, it can be problematic. Let's see if this control panel wants to work. I always have bad luck with these. Yeah. I always have bad luck with these control panels. It's always for a different version of a card that I do not have. Hey, MSX Tech. Oh,
Not my fault.
MSX computers. I have some MSX floppies I have to archive. New subscriber. I actually got a free Quadra 800 not long ago. Unfortunately, it was free because the infamous exploding battery. Oh, no. Oh, no. Do you still have the machine? Would you like it looked at? Is that what you're asking? That poor Quadra. I'm sorry to hear that, MSX Tech. If you are interested in having me take a look at it, if you do want to go to my website, Mac84.net, /services, or just click on the little services button there. You can fill out the form and let me know if you want me to take a look at it. I've had people donate boards or pieces to me if it's beyond repair. I don't know if I could save it if I don't see the photos of it, and even if I see the photos of it, I might not be able to save it. But that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that. That is really rough. Maybe you could fix it, though. Maybe it could be fixed. The one I got had a battery that just started to leak, and you could see there were flakes of rust around there. But yes, remove those batteries. You have an Apple II, you have a Macintosh, whatever you got, your old PC, remove the clock batteries. They leak, they go kablamo. They're not fun. Not fun at all. To watch the stream recording, I have a G4 AGP. It was what I bought on my graduation money. These are fantastic machines. I absolutely love these machines. They're very, very, very good. How backed up are you with repairs? I will just say that I am trying to get the ones I have done, the ones I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get those done before I even look at the list. I have an inbox that probably has 40 entries in it, 50 entries in it of people who have submitted interest in having something repaired. I have not even looked at it because I have some of these repairs that I'm in the process of sending back. So I don't even want to burden myself by looking at that because I get overwhelmed. So it's going to take some time. But feel free to send me a message. I will get back to it. It might take a while, but we'll get back to it. Even if I put in new batteries. No. I would say, look, if you put in new batteries to your system, it's usually fine. The problem is these batteries get old. 20 years, 30 years later, they tend to leak. They tend to explode. not good. And if you're going to store your machine for any longer than like a week or two, take the battery out. If you're going to put it in the attic, the garage, the basement, take the battery out. You don't need it in there. It's just going to save the clock information. That's all. The webpage I understand. If you want to, oh yes, the HTML flying toasters. Yes, I have those on my screensaver for my work computer because there's a way to display a website as a screensaver, and I do that, and the GPU fires up because it's all this complex HTML code. And we're staring at this screen too long. We're not really doing anything. I'm gonna make myself a little bit larger on this display, so it's we're doing something a little bit different. But good morning? Question mark. Good. Yeah, I guess it's the morning. It's late. Jeez. Probably gonna wrap up here. I'm just trying to think of anything else that I didn't cover yet. But I'm not saying I'm not taking on more repairs. No, quite the opposite, Jay. I am open to repairs. I just haven't gotten to that queue yet, and I know it's there, and I know it's piling up. I just admittedly have not gotten to it yet. So, yeah. Just spotted all the Newton folders. Well, there you go. The Newton stuff on there was a backup of something I was doing for a friend. He sold me some Newtons with the promise that I would back up that data and give it to him. So I did do that. So, all right, yeah, I don't know what else to do with this machine here. I'm gonna shut it down just to give it a rest here because we've been playing with it for a long time today. I do want to play around with OS 10 on this machine. Oh, well, thank you very much, Side. Greatly appreciate it. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Glad you're a new subscriber here. It's always nice to see people who are coming in from other channels or they found me through social media or whatever. But thank you very much. Is it Mac OS 9, Mac OS 8.5 like Windows 98? No. Comparing a Mac operating system to Windows, it's hard to compare. If you want to say, did they come out around the same time? Well, you'd have to look at the release years and all that stuff. That Molar Mac is on the other side of the basement. I'm not bringing it to here. No. We'd have to start a stream just for that. Maybe I'll use that Buzz contraption with that. How about that? That would be fun. Maybe one day. No, the reason I stopped my... I still technically have a pause on my repairs. I'm just very selective of what I take. Somebody sent me a request. I'm not saying they did anything bad or anything, but they sent me a request to fix something, and it was total. There were rust all over the CPU pins. Pins were falling off, all this stuff. It's like, ugh, no thank you. I'm sorry. I can't... there's some things I can't save. Douglas, oh, that's a good question. You know what I could do? Hold on. Mr. Fahrenheit, if you're still in the chat, what was that software you told me to use to rip that AUX CD? I'll do it right now. Let's do that before I forget. What was that piece of software? CD copy? Something like that? Never had a good concept between the LC 520 and the Color Classic until looking behind you right now. Yeah, there's quite a size difference there. Okay. No, the Molar Mac is staying on that side of the basement. I apologize. CD copy 2.0e. Is that on the lovely garden? Let's... well, I'll ask you and I'll look there at the same time. But if not... Let's see. No, trust me, if Mr. Fahrenheit says it has to be copied a certain way, I would trust that guy. He knows what he's talking about. All right, so there's a few different versions here. 2.2e. Then there's 2.0.2e. Okay, 2.2e. Got it. All right. And I assume this is system... Yeah, so what are we doing? We're plugging the G4 back in. Because we have something to do with it now. Where'd that video cable go? It got all excited, and then we stopped it, and we lost some viewers. Actually, we gained some viewers. We turn the G4 back on. Turn this car around. More G4. No, we're not playing more Unreal Tournament until I get a monitor that's correctly displaying the image. I can't play a game where the horizontal ratio is squished. That's like watching a widescreen film that's pan and scan. No, thank you. Can't do it, my friend. Not gonna do it. Alright, so let's plug this bad boy back in. We're not done yet. You're turning this thing around. Oh, it would help if the power is plugged in. Help if the power is plugged in. Alright, so let me do that. I'm gonna go grab that CD that had the CD binder that had the goodies in it. You just switch this so you could look at something different. I'm just trying to find where I put that binder. I don't exactly know where it went because it was like right here. Oh, let me shrink my view. You don't need to see me that large. Just give me a moment here. I probably put it in a very silly spot and I'm regretting that, of course. I just had the darn thing. Ugh. Famous last words, I know. I mean, it's not a Mac84 stream if you... It shouldn't have gone far. It better not have. This is when I wish I had the flying toasters on there, but... Oh, boy. Yeah, just give me a minute, folks. Go freshen up your drinks. Have a snack. I'll be right back. Alright, I got it. It was up on the shelf. I had to find a step stool to go grab it. Sorry about that. Alright, we are back. So the disc we are copying for our good friend Mr. Fahrenheit here is somewhere in this binder. We have BOS 5.03. Very cool, but that's not what we're after today. We have Next Step 3.3, but here it is, AUX 3.01. WGS 95. So it's a burned copy. Has some smudges on it. Just trying to get some of the dust and junk off of that. Alright, let's put the disc in here. Now I do have to transfer that software to this machine. BOS will run on some Power Macs, yeah. Alright, so where's the right cursor here? Here we go. Let's see if this will mount. Here we go. So this is what's on here. Excuse me. Let's see how much information was on this disk. 20 megabytes. 20 megabytes. So, alright, so let's get that software over. And go to the chooser here. Connect to our Mac Mini. You're going to plop that on our Mac Mini. And then grab that over the network. So let me just do that really fast here. Anybody has any questions or anything about old Macs, fire away. I'll probably wrapping up the stream after we perform this task for our friend here. Unless we think of anything else crazy to do. Alright, so here we go. We're back over here. Real data is in hidden partitions. There's about 300 megabytes of hidden partitions. My goodness. Alright, we're going to tell me how to use this software because I have no clue. Alright, so let's shrink this down. You don't need me as large on here. Hold on, just trying to click the wrong button with the thing. And there we go. Alright, let's see. So if we, where's our newly expanded folder on my messy desktop here. Cleaning up will never help. Here it is. Alright, so here it is. Oh boy. Alright, well let's go to Ye Old Garden here. Oh. Well. Damn, sometimes that works. Yeah, I do not have one on hand. We could do this later if you don't want to just publicly give me one. But I do not have one. There is a manual here. I'm just going to see if that happens to have like a number written somewhere. No. I don't think this one does either. No. Read me. Nope. Well, that's sort of a dead end there, but well, Storm Crash has an idea. But that, I don't think that's going to work. Oh, somebody texted me. Hold on a second. Let's just do a little switcheroo here because software. Let's see. My good friend Jay giving me this here. And how about that? That worked. Thank you very much, Jay. that is exactly what Mr. Fahrenheit typed in. Same one. Good on you, folks. Thank you. All right, so we got two here. So, oh, it ejected the disc. All right, so I guess I have to put the disc back in. Thank you very much, guys, for helping me out with that. CD is inserted. Nice try, Storm Crash. Okay, so some of the track gaps do not conform to track at once recording. Do we need to adjust those, good sirs? Or are we good with that? Now we wait for the latency of the YouTube stream to catch up to our good friend Mr. Fahrenheit. Click OK. Alrighty. So I'm just going to take a peek here. So hopefully this was burned correctly, because it is a burned copy. I don't know if that individual who made this burned copy made it with all the data intact. I don't know. But I did spot the reference. That's why I said it was very good. Now that song's going to be stuck in my head. Thanks. The LC2, the LC, and the LC3 are quite different. The processor is the difference there. The LC3 is the best one there. Get the LC3. The LC and the LC2 are silly by comparison. LC3 would always be king. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on. What's under the file menu? So we have preferences. Yeah, so there's hidden partitions here, Jay. That's why we can't use toast. Show drive info. Show disk layout. Okay. Whee! That's interesting. Never used this piece of software before. So, what do next? Oh, select track 1. So it's highlighted. Then choose save image for file. Okay, so track 1 is highlighted. And then from the file menu, you said? Save image for file, or... Let's see. Oh, save. Select a folder. We'll name this backup CDs. We'll choose that. Error. There's not enough space available on macOS 9. Really? How much space is there? So, 67 megabytes. Yeah, there's not enough space on there. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's what happens when you like download huge CDs like Unreal Tournament and stuff and just stick them on the hard drive and forget about them. Alright, so it's doing something. It's going to take about 7 minutes. But yeah, this is exciting. Hopefully this has good information on there for you, Mr. Fahrenheit. Fingers crossed. Yes, we got a bit of a late start. We were chatting around for the first 50 minutes. We've been playing around with this machine for an hour or so. Oh, and this is not an MDD, though. This is a Sawtooth AGP Model G4. So this is a bit of an earlier one, but very, very similar in spec, and you can't really see it on the screen right now unless I move the camera down. So you can see it's the more graphite color model. But the MDDs are very nice as well. Alright, so it's going to take about 5 minutes here. I'm going to use this time to ask anybody if they have any questions about vintage Macs they'd like me to answer, or ideas for a video or something they'd like me to cover. Be happy to do that. I do have a Patreon. I don't really promote it too often on my live streams because I feel like a lot of people know it. But I do have a Patreon. If you do subscribe to that Patreon, as little as $1 a month, that's the lowest tier that I have, and you pretty much get the same access that everybody else does. I have exclusive behind-the-scenes videos on there. You can get stuff before it's released on YouTube publicly. There's also some behind-the-scenes stuff there that is not going to be on YouTube, so you get access to that. It helps support a lot of the stuff that I pick up, a lot of the things I order off eBay. It supports my equipment for my recording and all that fun stuff. And as my thank you to people who support me, you get exclusive stuff that nobody else could get. So just a little bit of a plug there. If you want to support me on Patreon, no obligation, but you can go to patreon.com/Mac84 if you'd like to do so. Let's see. Toast was created by Starday Toast 2.0. Was starting. Ah, interesting. Okay, yeah, and then I remember Adaptec buying Toast, but very interesting. Yes, I do have a few Power Mac G5s. I haven't played around with them on stream for a while, but yeah. Oh, no worries. Yeah, Mike was playing around with the MDD that he got. Very, very cool. What's the easiest way to get your hands on an older Mac? I have a lot of software, but only a G4 and a Mac Plus. So you're talking about, Douglas, you're talking about like getting another machine, not transferring data, really? Local talk to Ethernet, yes. I have a video that I did about the iMac G3. It's called the iMac G3 USB Revolution. In that, I talk about the Asanti Talk adapter and the Farallon Ethernet adapter. But there are caveats to that. Go watch that video. There are details in there about those adapters. You can do it, but it doesn't do TCP/IP, and there are some caveats to it. So take a look at that. It's still going. Is there a modern Mac app that... Oh, I'm sorry. That's a question, not to me. But I'm acquiring old Macs. I mean, social media marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. An earlier PowerPC one or later 68K one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say an early Power Mac, 7500 series, something like that. 8100 series, something like that. Be aware, though, you're going to get machines that have a risk of the battery exploding or leaking already, risk of the capacitors leaking or being damaged already, and a risk of the hard drives failing. So it's going to be a bit of an investment, but you might also need an ADB cable and an ADB keyboard and an ADB mouse. Those are the old style connectors that Apple had on those systems. But, I mean, that's something that'll be compatible with basically any beige machine, save for the Plus. But if you already have one of those, you have the keyboard and the mouse for that. But I would say, like, even though the performers get a bad rap, they're not too bad if you are doing 68K stuff. The very later performers, like the 6400, aren't too bad. I would probably say aim for like a Power Mac 7500. That could basically do 7.5 or even a little lower, maybe all the way up to 9 and even 10 if you had some upgrades in it. So I think that's a pretty good middle-of-the-road machine. So the Mac clones are good ones, too. I would shy away from anything like the LC. The LC2 and the LC3 are good, but the first LC was eh. And then you have to get a certain PDS card adapter slot. The best thing about for networking, the best thing about the 7500, Ethernet is built right in. Local talk is built right in. You could talk to pretty much any Mac with that system. And a lot of the Power Macs that came out had Ethernet built in. So if you're going to get a Power Mac, any of the beige ones should have Ethernet built in. Should save you a lot of time. Some of them have the AUI port. You just need a transceiver. Some of those are hard to find. But the 7500 does have a RJ45 jack built right in. Yeah, the 7500, 7600, 8500, 8600, 9500, 9600. A lot of them had the AV IO inputs. You could go on eBay right now and get one of those Iomega Buzz adapters. I don't know if they'll work, if the PC ones will work with the Mac, but you get similar adapters that'll do AV capture. The G3 mini towers, the G3 all-in-ones, the G3 based desktops. Now the G3 based desktop, that's a great thing as well, but I don't think it'll run the earlier version of the system software. I think that's 8 or 8.1. So if you want to run System 7 stuff, I would say like the earlier Power Macs. Sorry, just scrolling up here. Yeah, eBay's overpriced, but shop locally. Don't pay over $100. Open the machine first. Make sure the batteries haven't leaked. Make sure the capacitors haven't leaked. Have them power it on. Ask questions. Ask for pictures. They're selling it. You can ask a bunch of questions and be a bit of a jerk about it if you need to. Yeah, eBay is way overpriced. There's always phone net, but you would need an adapter, of course. I loved the power button on the keyboard. It was annoying when they removed that away from the keyboards. Alright, so this looks like it's wrapping up. Saving track. And I hear the CD spinning down there. It looks like that's done. Mr. Fahrenheit, is there anything else that we require to do at this point in time? Yeah, feel free to send me pictures on social media, on Twitter or whatever. If you find something and you're curious about it. Be happy to let you know if I think that's a good price or not. ApplePriceGuide.com is something I am building out to try and regulate to a degree from the community and from sources and my own experience of what these prices, usually are. Don't listen to the information right there on that site now because it's all, temporary stuff in beta. But I do have an Apple personal modem. It is a fun little thing. All right, we are all done. Excellent. Let's quit this and let's see where that is. Backup CDs. All right, so we're gonna just copy that over the network here, and we're gonna send that off to our good friend Mr. Fahrenheit. Excellent. Well, it looks like it's much bigger than the 20 megabytes, so I hope that was the data you were looking for, my friend. Good night, Andre. Thank you very much for stopping by. PowerBook G4 Titanium 2002 for $90. Can pick it up? Don't mount it. I won't. I'm not going to touch it. That is a very good price for a G4 Titanium. That is a very good price for a G4 Titanium PowerBook. I would grab it immediately. $90 in very good condition. Go grab it. Go grab it, Thomas. That is... You could use it to trade for an older Mac. Let me just say that. You could easily use that to trade for an older Mac. Heck, I would pay that for one, and I already have one. So, Mr. Fahrenheit, I will, should I drop this in a zip file and then send it off to you, or zip it, or what do you recommend? I will follow your advice on that and send that off to you right away. You can hopefully tell me if it's any good or not. No worries, William. Alright, so this is just about wrapping up here. We've been going for about 2.5 hours, so we're going to wrap up the stream here in a moment. But, the PowerBook G4 Titaniums, they are very easily scraped, and the paint is scraped off, and the hinges break. So if it's in very good condition, I do not think $90 is too much for it. Just add .iso to it and upload it somewhere. Okay, so, yeah, let me do that now then. Let me just make sure I'm doing this correctly. So, let's eject... Where's the trash can? There it is. Eject that. I'm just going to remote into the machine that I just plopped this on. And so you're just saying rename that to a .iso file, correct? And then just upload that somewhere. I don't have to zip it up or anything like that, or make sure it's happy. I'm just so used to, the Mac side of things, the regular, Mac files and such. Sorry, all things G, that you were late. Alright, so let me just see if this came over here on my other screen here. And open the transfers folder here. There it is. So just add .iso to it. I will do that right now. Oh, wrong keyboard. .iso. Excuse me. Okay, so let's try and just type that in. Are you sure you want to add the extension .iso to the name? Yes. Okay. It changed the icon. Hopefully that didn't kill anything. And then I'm just going to copy that over to my Mac here. I'm going to put it on like Google Drive or something. I have easy access to that. Hopefully that's okay. And I will send you a message with that, my good friend. So let's copy that over. And if you need me to try that again or anything like that, let me know, and I will be happy to do so. Alright, so let me switch back here and go to our full screen view here. We're going to shut down our G4. Well, we have to eject that disk from there. Make sure I eject that properly. Don't want to lose that. Okay. And let's just see if there's... Oh, well, you're very welcome, Jay. See if there's anybody else that had a question here. Yeah, this one's pretty cool. It's not too loud, but yeah, that's. I think it's gonna cut it for this stream here. We're going for about 2.5 hours, but I greatly appreciate everybody stopping by. We had about 70 people viewing at one point, which is crazy, and 50 of you stuck around. I'd love to go for longer, but gotta wrap up. I need some energy for tomorrow. But thank you very much for stopping by. We will install macOS 10 on this in another stream. Let me know in the comments section if you prefer Tiger or Panther or what you want me to put on here, because I think Tiger is what I'm going to put on here. I'd love to know your opinions, though. But that's about it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. You can always support me on Patreon at patreon.com/Mac84. That's about it. Take care, guys. Have a great night, and stay safe, and love your Macs.